Flash is definitely coming to the DCU as far as James Gunn Cinematic Universe, and I think he's coming a bit sooner than expected than everybody thought. I don't think that with the Jimmy Olsen show coming out like that, I did want to report on, make a short video about this, the Mr. Terrific show. I want to make a video about the Jimmy Olsen and Garage show we heard news for it, but everything was a little saturated and everything. I was going to make a full video. I was going to make this my first full-on DC video. I made a full-on Marvel video and all that stuff. And I usually do stream content, but I do love DC, Marvel. I love comic books. But if anything's telling us with Gorilla Grodd coming into the picture with this Jimmy Olsen show, I haven't really seen anybody else make any videos about this. I try to make everything as original as possible and put my own thoughts out into the world as much as possible and not have to rely on anybody else to do it. So what I see is that the Gorilla Grodd is being put into the DC universe, and they're making a Jimmy Olsen show in the first place. They're not making a Jimmy Olsen show for Jimmy Olsen. They're making it for Gorilla Grodd, and I think Gorilla Grodd is really going to be the main antagonist as far as the Flash goes, and I feel like he's going to be the main villain for the Flash. That's a badass Gorilla Grodd. But Gorilla Grodd is probably one of the Flash's best main nemesis, and I feel like without blatantly saying that you're putting the Flash out there so they can still have shock value whenever they do announce a Flash movie, or they're not going to do a TV show. I mean, the CW, or maybe they will do a Flash TV show. Who knows? I mean, if the CW Flash show told us anything, it's that people really love that show. And I don't think it would even be a bad thing if you made the person who played, I'm not exactly named what that actor is in the CW. I've never really watched a CW show, but I got friends who have watched it and really praised that show. I'm going to have to go back and watch that show. But that's the highest rated Flash anything is the Flash TV series. You can see Gorilla Grodd is in this series. You know what I mean? So maybe he won't be the guy from the CW show won't be in it because they're probably going to be having a different Gorilla Grodd as far as I don't see that Gorilla Grodd being, what you call practical effects will probably be CGI. Like how Thanos is and how they do everything. I mean, if you can do CGI right, it can look good. I mean, I just watched Morbius today. So surprisingly, I'm not saying that it's a great movie or anything, but the CGI was good in that movie, and I feel like that movie is very underrated. I'm not going to go into Marvel, but going back into Gorilla Grodd and Jimmy Olsen, I feel like at some point in that show, they're going to start talking about the Flash. I feel like the Flash will be casted differently. They're not going to have Ezra Miller coming back as the Flash. That was a freaking disaster. They want to cut, and it's weird that James Gunn, if you go look back, James Gunn says that the Flash movie, maybe you saw a different cut of that movie. You had to see a different cut of the Flash movie, with Michael Keaton. The only Flash movie they made, as far as I know, I don't think they made one that I don't know about, but what was I saying? As far as like casting the Flash and all that stuff, they're going to get someone new. Ezra Miller, he's out. They're going to try and cut ties with that movie as much as possible. And as I was saying with James Gunn, I don't know if you saw a different cut, like I said, but that movie absolutely sucked. And they definitely don't want to bring back anything from that. And one thing I don't get in this Mr. Terrific show, he's bringing somebody in from the old DC universe, the Snyderverse, or whatever you want to call it. Well, it's not really Snyder that had any affiliation with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was in the Justice League and all that stuff, so just Zack Snyder's. But he's trying to bring back people from all these old franchises. I got faith in James Gunn. I do love the way he does things. I think the Suicide Squad was honestly one of the best DC movies we ever got. I like that almost better, more than anything. The character choices and all that stuff. You didn't see him making spin-offs of any of those characters. I think he's better off. I mean, the Peacemaker. What am I saying? He didn't make a spinoff of the Peacemaker, and look how good that did. I mean, I don't think Sylvester Stallone want to do a spinoff King Shark thing or whatever. I mean, you got to bring one of those characters back in something. That Harley Quinn spinoff would be good, but I don't think Margot Robbie would want to do that. Idris Elba probably wouldn't do TV like a TV spinoff of himself. He did do The Office, so who knows? Maybe you would like a short series. They should just do an anthology series of the Suicide Squad, of each character having their own story, and just make it anthology style, just one and done for each character. I think that'd be pretty cool. Even previous Suicide Squad characters like Captain Boomerang or whatever, before he died in that movie. I think that would be a better TV show than that. You got to reinvent the Suicide Squad back into this. And like me going back into that is going into the Mr. Terrific show right here, which I don't think is going to do good. Is he's Mr. Forgettable? I mean, he was good in that movie, but I mean, very forgettable. I can't tell you a single line that he had in that movie that that stuck with me. Like unlike Lex Luthor, or you know, yeah, very Mr. Forgettable. I even know one of Metamorpho's lines in that. Joey, that was one of my favorite lines in that movie. It was hilarious when they're saving him and his kid Joey, But I wanted to make a nice DC video for a change. I wanted to show some love to DC. I always got love for everybody, that watches and everyone who does show me love. So I definitely wanted to get this out into the world today. Having a beautiful Sunday. I hope you all enjoyed your July 4th. And if this video does good, maybe I'll make something similar to it. I just want to get in that I really think that The Flash is going to be the next hero really announced. Big announcement. It's going to be the biggest, bigger announcement for this. I think it's going to get announced. I think the actor playing the Flash is going to get announced before the new Batman does, or the new Wonder Woman. I really do, because I do think James Gunn does really love the Flash, and I do think that's why he said he liked that movie so much. It's just because he loved the Flash so much. Bad CGI and all. But I hope you're all having a wonderful day. If you like the content or like this video, like it would mean a lot to me, and it would go a long way if you shared it to, maybe if you do want the video to go out to the masses, or if you just like the channel in general, you like what I do. It goes a really long way, subscribing and showing a little bit of love, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Much love, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed your July 4th. Enjoy your Sunday. I hope it's nice and relaxing for all of you. Stu's Alive signing out.